What is happening, guys? Welcome back to another video, and today is progress 3 of our Pirates of the Caribbean custom PC for Computex 2017. I hope you all enjoy the progress, so let's begin. First off, we have sanded back our Pirates of the Caribbean plaque, which we will be putting at the top of the PC, sanding all of that paint back, just taking it back to the bare wood, because we want to give it a bit of stain. So before I put the Walnut Stain on, I'm giving it a bit of a clean back, using my microfiber cloth to remove any dust from it, and then I'm going to be using a cloth to just gently wipe all of this walnut stain over the edges. I'm then going to put it just over the writing and keep the middle just pure wood. I really like the look that this has achieved, and I'm actually trying to contemplate what type of paint job I want on the case. If any of you guys have any ideas or suggestions, please do leave them down below. I was thinking of trying to make a bit of landscape, putting a bit of moss and stuff growing on the outside as well. I'm going to have a skull up the top with this plaque. So I'm thinking a bit of a sort of browny, sort of dirt type feel with a bit of moss growing here and there with the skull in place. I might even put a bit of moss on top of that skull as well. But for now, I've finally printed out a picture of the boat, so I want to try and make my boat look more like the Black Pearl, which you guys saw in that picture before. Unfortunately, I don't have any cutting discs left either for my grinder, so I'm just using the grinding disc, which is cutting through perfectly fine anyway. So basically the front section is actually lower on the Black Pearl, so I've got to cut out this front section and then add a bit more foam to create the shape that I am after. Of course, it is fairly simple for me to cut through this. It's just foam and of course a 3mm thick layer of body filler. Pretty easy, guys, and definitely wear some glasses with that because you don't want all of that body filler and specks falling into your eyes from the grinder.
I'm just going with the gut, never had a doubt, felt like this is just a must. Put me in perspective, I'm the deepest in the cut. Everybody tuning in, but this is just for us now. We know I ain't ballin' yet, hoes wanna holler, oh no, I don't call them back, girl, let me see.
So I'm actually going to be using that part that I removed and sticking it back onto the nose because I want a longer nose and I want to make the bottom a bit more curved because now I do have a picture which I can follow. So I'm just removing a bit of that foam so I can put it in place like so, and then I'll foam down the bottom to make it fit perfect. Now before I'm going to foam, I just want to grind off the sides a bit so I can foam around it so there's not two points sticking out creating a weird shape with the boat. Now I will also have to cut out a couple more acrylic edges like you can see up the top there for this bottom section which will connect the two parts, but for now I'm just going to sand this all flat and add the new part onto it. A bit of the foam, which will be used as a tiny bit of an adhesive to keep this in place, and then I'll fill the rest of it with foam and then wait for it to dry so I can cut it out and carve it to shape. I'll put a bit of tape on the end of that acrylic as well because I will have to put some acrylic weld on the end for some more rails, so I didn't want the foam to go on that, otherwise I would not be able to fuse the two acrylic bits together. So it's just adding a bit of protection to the acrylic for later use. Now while all of that foam is drying, I'm going to be creating a few small little acrylic bits which will act as the windows, the cannon windows, and also the ladders for jumping on and off the ship. So it's just all those small details that I'm cutting out and getting ready to stick on later on in the build when I start doing the finer details. Pretty simple, just bits of rectangle acrylic, square acrylic, and so on, and I'll just sand the edges back. Now I am priming the Tentacles, which we earlier made in the previous videos. I'll just use a bit of foil to hold it up so that I can actually get around each edge and paint it evenly instead of painting one side and then the next. Now I was actually battling with the wind this day as well. It was a really windy day, so I actually used a bit of acrylic to try and make like a bit of a shield around it to try and prevent the wind from touching it. So back onto the boat, our foam has finally dried, and now we're going to be carving all of that out, taking out big chunks, and obviously shaping it up for some body filler. It's pretty easy to cut through, guys, and I definitely recommend this foam if you guys want something lightweight and you really want to carve out a certain shape. It is so easy to do, guys. You can see I'm just carving right through it and taking off little bits at a time, getting the correct shape that I'm after. So I was hoping to get a lot more progress as well for you guys. Unfortunately, I've had a really busy week, and tomorrow I will be at a LAN event displaying a PC at the Corsair booth. Actually, Project Meta Red will be the PC on display, so we're not going to have a lot of time to get a lot of progress for Monday either, but hopefully on Sunday I can get a lot done and I can release a video for you guys. Right now I'm just sanding back all of this foam, trying to get it all into shape. These sanders come in really handy because they're so small. They can get into gaps and crevices, and you can also use them to really shape up the foam and the body filler because the surface of them are very small. So believe it or not, guys, I spend so much time sanding these projects. I really don't like to put so much of it in videos. However, basically all of the progress this week was basically sanding, so hopefully you guys can forgive it. Please like and subscribe. Check out more videos on the channel. We've got lots of custom PCs, lots of reviews, lots of modding tutorials, and we'll see you guys in the next one. And for those of you who made it to the end, let me know in the comments, guys.